Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 15 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 15-minute time check, stations.
Microphone check, test 1, 2, in-house microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2, microphone check.
Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 10 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 10-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Brian.
Mic check, test 1 2. Mic check, test 1 2. Mic check, test 1 2. Mic check. Jack.
Good evening, Ram fans. How's everybody tonight? Great to see you. Thanks for coming on over to CB and Pots here at Collindale and joining us for Coach Norvell's radio show with Voice of the Rams, Mr. Brian Ross. All right, you bet. Hey, just a reminder, if you're new here to the show, we have an entry box over there on the table. And you are invited to put your name in there. We've got some prizes to give away tonight. We also have that football helmet, courtesy of Tim Cassidy and Ram Football. We are having each of our student-athlete guests sign that each week. And on Tuesday night before Thanksgiving, we're going to be giving that away to one lucky winner. So make sure that you get your name in that. We're collecting the names throughout the season from each show. We'll put them all in one great big hat, and we're going to pick that winner for that helmet. Also tonight, we've got a great little additional prize. In addition to the other things that we give away, we've got 2 pregame field passes tonight that we're going to give away to some lucky winner here at the show. So anyway, some fun stuff coming up here tonight, and we appreciate you all
Our
joining
broadcast
us.
will begin
Once again,
in
we have
2
$12
minutes from my
burgers
mark.
here at CB and
In
Pots,
5,
and
4,
plenty of Coors Light
3,
specials, and buy
2,
5
1,
get the 6 free
mark.
bucket deals
That
of
was your
Coors and
2-minute
any
time
of your
check,
favorite
stations.
beers. So with that, turn it over to Brian and Coach. Let's have a great show tonight. All welcome in, and let's go Rams.
CB and Pots, Collindale. We're at the restaurant and tap room for the Coors Light Jay Norvell Coaches Show. Great to see everybody here this evening. Battling a little bit of a rainstorm to get over here, but another terrific crowd. I appreciate everybody joining us tonight, and appreciate everybody joining us on Facebook and across the Colorado State Radio Network. Brian Roth along with head coach Jay Norvell. We're going to talk some Colorado State Ram football tonight. Rams coming off a loss at Utah State here this past weekend. Conference opening loss, but a chance to get right back in the win column coming up on Saturday night. Homecoming at Canvas Stadium on Saturday night against Boise State, and expecting, I know, a really nice crowd on Saturday night. Jay, good to see you. How are you? I know you were disappointed by the way the game turned out on Saturday in Logan.
Yeah, I'm doing good, actually. Thank you. And, no, we were disappointed, and we did not play well. We didn't play well offensively or defensively. We played very well on special teams, and I was very proud of our execution and our effort on teams. You know, there's a couple different things going on, and, you know, I think we learned some valuable experiences when you play with a young quarterback. He's been rolling along pretty good. You knew things were going to change and people were going to adjust some things and force him to do some different things. And, you know, there's an old saying that the offense runs through the footwork of the quarterback, and really Braden was off rhythm from the very first snap, and that comes from experience and learning to take your footwork and read your progression. So he'll learn from that. We never really got on rhythm offensively because of that, and defensively, boy, we did some great things early, and we made some big plays. We had some big turnovers, and then we kind of allowed them to make some big plays later on from the second quarter on. And so really proud of our special teams. Our guys did an amazing job, and of course Torrey did a great job. But all of our special teams, I'm really proud of Patty Turner as well. And so, you know, we got to pick ourselves up. I told our kids Monday, Saturday night, I felt like we were like a club fighter that fights every Saturday night and just kind of gives all you got, and we have to get on track and play complementary football, and that's, you know, it's important to do that this week.
Yeah, how was the mindset, the attitude of the guys? They came back, I know probably got treatment on Sunday, and then back at practice here on Monday.
It was a physical game. We got some guys beat up, and so do they. You know, but that's what conference football games are, and so we got to patch our guys back together. You know, our running back room is still – it's patchy right now. You know, Van got hurt last week, and Kobe got knocked around again, and so it's just we're trying to patch all those guys back together to put a healthy running back room together.
All right, again, the Rams lose 44-24. It's a game in which Rams jumped out to a 17-0 lead, 17-17 at halftime, but boy, I mean, you look at that first quarter, Jay, and I mean, 17-0. You and I were just talking a moment ago. You had the football twice up 17-0 in that first quarter. Had the football twice up 17-3 in the second quarter where you could have applied some more pressure but didn't get that done. And it thought maybe just kind of breathed some life into Utah State.
Yeah, we got the big punt return. We got some turnovers on defense. You know, and really the big difference in the game was they hit their big plays and we didn't. And we've been hitting them. And so that's the way that goes. And, you know, and I think our corner play was good at times. We made some big plays on some deep balls when we started to kind of man turn and look at the quarterback, and we made some plays. And that technique hurt us as we went through the game because we started to lose our man. They made a couple big plays down the field. So we got to do a better job of that and shore that up and kind of tighten up the big plays defensively, and we got to get in rhythm on offense and get the ball spread around to our playmakers.
Yeah, when you look at that offense, Braden Fowler-Nicolosi, you had mentioned footwork, and you get into conference play, and all of a sudden there's just more and more tape and film on your offense and on your quarterback in particular. Obviously, that's a focal point. And, you know, you mentioned he just wasn't in rhythm. 3 straight 300-yard passing games for Braden Fowler-Nicolosi, but I guess we have to remind ourselves sometimes he still is a freshman. He still hasn't played a lot of college football.
And he had a lot of success for 3 weeks there throwing quick.
Right.
And that was one of the things they tried to take that away from him and make him read through his progression and throw down the field. And so, you know, he just wasn't he just wasn't in rhythm, and we've got to do a good job helping him get into that. And sometimes with a young player, they got to experience that. You can talk to them. I mean, we told them it was coming, all last week. This is not going to continue to go this way. They're going to adjust and make you do some things you haven't had to do. And until a young guy experiences that, sometimes it's hard to get it across to him.
What was his attitude like after the game? Because sometimes you go through a contest like that, and again, I think he had 31 incompletions and 3 interceptions. Do you have to pump a freshman up a little bit after that?
Yeah, you need to show him where he made the mistakes. And, the turnovers are what he's got to stop.
Right.
We've got to stop the turnovers. And the biggest thing that killed us in that game were the turnovers and the big plays that we gave up defensively. And so he's got to see that. He's got to eliminate that. He's got to shore that up and do a better job of that. And he's a confident guy. I think he's going to bounce back.
All right. Well, you look at the offense, and Torrey Horton, 3 catches in that first half, then goes down in that first half. You knew you wouldn't have him in the second half. How does that change what you guys do on offense when you don't have the best receiver in the Mountain West Conference, and by the numbers, the best receiver in the nation?
Yeah, he's a talented guy. It's hard to replace Torrey when he's out. But we have a lot of guys that are capable of playing and that have played. And we feel confident that they can step up and be productive. And that's probably one of the silver linings of what's happened the last couple weeks, because we've had a number of practices where Torrey hasn't been able to practice. And Justice Ross Simmons, he's got stitches in his hand, so he can't really practice either. So that gives our young receivers an opportunity to get reps with Braden and get that experience, and we're going to need those guys down the stretch.
Yeah, but you look at this game, and it started to get away from you in the third quarter. But, I thought one of the key drives, you guys down 31-17, and you talk about turnovers. Boy, you guys are about ready to get set up, first down goal to go, and a fumble happens at that point. I mean, you guys go in and score there. It's 31-24, and that's a brand new ball game again.
We had our chances in that game. It was very similar to the games that we won the couple weeks before in Middle Tennessee, where we had to fight in the second half to come back. We were basically a score and turnover away from coming back in the game, and our kids got to believe that. And Dallin got the ball knocked out. He's been doing a great job handling the ball, and we just got to learn from that. So those are things that I think we were able to show our kids in the film study this week, and also pointed out all the good things we're doing. I think that's another thing. I talked to a bunch of veteran coaches this week that just reminded me, we are the number 1 passing team in the conference. We got the number 1 punt return in the conference. Our punter's playing outstanding. Patty played outstanding last week. So we've got a lot. We're leading the conference in sacks. We've got a lot to build on.
Yep.
And so that's got to carry us through the conference, and we got to pick ourselves up and get back in the fight.
Yeah, you're amongst the nation's leader, I believe, in tackles for a loss per game as well. Go back to the running back room. We saw a little bit of KJ Edwards, and he wears number 40. I know Ram fans might not be familiar with him. He's a junior college kid, and he got his first taste of Division I football on Saturday. But how about Damian Henderson? He got hurt in the Utah Tech game. Again, the freshman, we've talked about him here on the show. How's he coming along? Is he going to be available on the game Saturday night?
I don't think Damian will be available, no. And of course, Avery won't be available. I got to say, I'm so proud of Van Shield.
Yeah.
Van Shield is a guy, as a walk-on. He played defensive back a year ago. He moved him to running back this spring. He basically carried the ball all spring for our offense. We didn't have any other running backs. And he's just been amazing. He played really well Saturday before he got dinged, and he's going to be back this week. And I'm really proud of Van. We should have Kobe Johnson this week. KJ will be available as well. And so, we'll just kind of have to be smart. We even moved Peter back over to the running back, Montini, and I haven't seen him run the ball since high school. So, but he does a good job, and he'll help us there as well.
Yeah, again, Van Shield had we had him on the show last week, you remember, and he was super excited about his first touchdown ever against Utah Tech, and then rumbled in from 22 yards out in the first quarter against Utah State last week to make that a 17-0 game. So good to know Van Shield and Kobe Johnson should be available coming up on Saturday. All right, we'll take our first time out of the evening. Stay with us here tonight. It's the Coors Light Jay Norvell Coaches Show right here on the Colorado State Sports Network from Learfield. Coors Light Jay Norvell Coaches Show. We're live at CB and Potts Restaurant and Tap Room. We are in Fort Collins here this evening. Tonight's show presented by Canvas Credit Union. At Canvas, it's more than just about banking. It's about you and your goals. You can join the official credit union of CSU by visiting canvas.org. or you can go visit them at the convenient location, Laurie Student Center, right there on the Colorado State Ram campus. All right, Brian Roth, head coach Jay Norvell, back with you again. The Rams fall at Utah State last Saturday. We kind of focused a little bit on the offense. Wanted to ask you a little bit about the defense and big plays. Obviously, that's been a theme. I imagine you guys have been drilling into your defense's head. You can't give up big plays. And why do those type of things happen? It's just one breakdown somewhere, isn't it? And then all of a sudden, somebody loses somebody.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's different reasons on different plays.
Right.
But, I think the number one thing, we talk about is that we got to clean it up. And if we're having a problem on a certain scheme, then we need to eliminate it, and we take time on Mondays to walk through the errors from the game on Saturday. And, sometimes it's a player, sometimes it's a scheme, sometimes it's a little bit of confusion, and we need to line up and play soundly. So if we need to eliminate some of the things that we're trying to do defensively, then I think that's what we're going to do, so our kids can play soundly and we can keep the ball in front of us and tackle them down.
Almost simplifying the scheme just a little bit?
In some cases.
Okay.
Yeah, in some cases. In some cases it was technique error. We played man coverage a couple of times. We'd made some excellent plays and got interceptions. TJ Crandall made a great interception. I think
Dom Jones
had a great interception. And we kind of started cheating the technique a little bit, and the guys made some plays on us. And the kid played his best game he ever played. And so, we just got to shore that up and start playing through the man instead of trying to get the interception all the time. So that's something that we got to clean up. But we need to simplify, and we let our guys play with confidence.
Was there something Utah State did differently, maybe into the second quarter, into the second half? Because, boy, the first, 4 drives that the Aggies had,
Yeah.
I mean, man, you guys were getting pressure. Like, I don't know if I've seen you get that type of pressure.
We had 6 sacks.
Right.
And that's been something that we've been really good at all year long. We lead the conference in sacks. We're one of the national leaders in sacks. And in turn, I know we got our offensive line guys here, but we've done a really good on offense, not giving up sacks. And so that's an area of the game where we've been winning consistently is the minus yardage plays. And so we got to continue that. This was a quarterback we got after pretty good last year. And, they just did a better job as the game went along. And we got to keep finding ways. Defense is all about getting off the field. So you got to find a way to get the team to third down, and then you got to stop them, make them punt, and get the ball back. And so we didn't do a good enough job of that Saturday.
Yeah, Jay, I think that's where I think you guys must have been super frustrated. 17-17 at halftime. Utah State gets the opening kickoff the second half, and they get it at their own 25-yard line. All of a sudden, it's third down and 11. Your defense is looking at a 3-and-out. They have the football at their own 24.
Well, he scored on the first 2 third downs of the third quarter.
First 2 third downs.
Yep, and that's usually where we're really good, and so we got to get back to playing that way. I have confidence in our defense and our defensive players and our coaches, and I think we're going to play better defense. And so we need to start doing that this week.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that linebacking core. And I know we talk a lot about Wilson. What about Sanchez? He was a junior college kid that you brought in last year and didn't know what the linebacking room was going to look like, who was going to be the key players. But Justin Sanchez has been really good. He was terrific. I thought he was everywhere on the field for you on Saturday night.
He's really done a great job and really improved as a player. And obviously his workload has improved tremendously along with Chase. But he's just a really quality tackler and plays extremely hard. And, I'm just really proud of his performance this year.
All right. I'd be remiss not to mention Mo Camara. And I know he got hurt. I want to ask you for that in a minute. But Mo Camara had 3 more sacks on Saturday night. And he now has 27 career sacks here at Colorado State. 27, all right? Now, let's put that into a little bit of context. What does 27 sacks mean? Well, the school record is 33, set by Clark Hagans. And we all know Clark was an excellent player for Sonny Lubick in the late 90s. So, again, barring an injury, And if he keeps the pace that he has, Mo Camara is going to leave here as the all-time sack leader. I mean, what an accomplishment that would
amazing. You know, what a great kid. And, you know, I remember when we got here, you know, I had a lot of that was probably my biggest recruit, was just keeping Mo here. Just, you know, I had a lot of conversations about what he wanted to accomplish. And, you know, we told him we were going to put him on the edge and let him rush the quarterback. And, boy, has he ever. He's been amazing. And, you know, and I have a lot of friends in the NFL that come visit and scouts, and one of the things they're so impressed, it's just a rare quality to have that passion to rush the passer and be as relentless as Mo is. And so he's got a lot of people that are watching him play. And, you know, when NFL coaches turn a college film on, they don't care what film they grab. They just want to grab a film, and they want to see you playing as hard as you can every time. And that's what Mo does. He just plays his tail off. He practices that way. And just so proud of him. He had a great night Saturday.
Yeah, again, 3 sacks for him. 6 sacks as a team for the Rams. Chase Wilson had one. Henry Blackburn, I believe, got his first sack of the season on a safety blitz. And again, the Rams continue to get after the quarterback here this season. All right, well, want to ask, I know a lot of people have been asking me this week, how's Torrey Horton, who, again, missed the second half of the game last week? How's Mo Camara, who virtually missed the entire fourth quarter last week? How are those guys? Because you have your best offensive player, best defensive player. You need those in conference games.
Yeah, we're a little banged up right now, to be honest with you. And last couple of weeks, we haven't had those guys in practice a whole lot. You know, I don't know. We'll see about Torrey. He'll probably be a game time decision. I think Mo will be ready to go. And, you know, but that's football. You know, you're going to get injuries. You're going to get guys banged up at times. And, you know, I look at the bright side of that. Sometimes we have younger players that get more opportunities, and they start to build confidence and feel more comfortable in there, and then we can start to depend on them as well. So there's a silver lining to that, but we certainly want to get Mo and Torrey back for sure.
Yeah, and I imagine Torrey might not be practicing this week. Do you challenge that wide receiver room saying, hey, look, if Torrey can't go, one of you don't have to be Torrey Horton, but you certainly need to elevate your play.
No doubt. I think Lewis Brown is a guy that's got to step up, and we've talked to Lewis a lot about that. Lewis is certainly capable. He had a great game against Colorado, and we need him. We need him to be, you know, a guy that can stretch the field and make plays down the field and do a lot of the things that Torrey does. So we're looking for that from him in practice. You know, I don't know. Justice Ross Simmons has got stitches in his hand. Yeah. It's hard to play. If he played any other position on the field, he'd be great. But it's just hard to play wide receiver with stitches in your hand. You're catching the ball all the time. So it's just tough. So, you know, some of those other kids are going to have to step up.
All right, we'll take another timeout. When we continue on the other side of the break, we'll talk about Boise State homecoming coming up on Saturday evening at Canvas Stadium. Late kickoff, about 8 o'clock Mountain Time. We'll take a timeout on the Colorado State Sports Network from Learfield. CB and Potts Restaurant and Tap Room. We're at Collindale and Fort Collins tonight. We continue along with the Coors Light Jay Norvell Coaches Show, and we have one more segment left here with head coach Jay Norvell. Then we're going to get to our student athletes. We're going to talk offensive line here this evening as we have Jacob Gardner and Andrew Cannon and Billy Best, the offensive line coach, also going to join us as well. All right, the Rams have a homecoming matchup with Boise State coming up on Saturday night at Canvas Stadium. I know it says 7:45 is the kickoff. It's actually a 7:55 kickoff. It could be moved. So get in the stadium by the time it's 7:45. Cheer on the Rams as they come out. But it'll be a late one, but it'll be a big TV crowd, a big crowd as well. And why not? For a Boise State homecoming game, should be a lot of fun. What do you make of Boise State? Broncos 3-3 on the season. They're 2-0 in conference play, and they're coming back from a come-from-behind win against San Jose State this past weekend.
They played a challenging schedule so far. They played some really good teams in the non-conference, and they've had some really close back and forth shootout type games. They're typical of Boise football the last couple years. They try to run the football. They try to be balanced. They're going to move and shift their formations. They're playing a couple different quarterbacks, which is a little bit unusual, and their skill set is different as well. One guy's a big, strong guy that's more of a runner, and the other guy's more of a drop-back passer. Two really good running backs, quality backs, and they're athletic on defense. They were really senior dominated on defense a year ago, not so much this year. And so, they're a quality team. They're very solid. They don't take the chances like the old Boise teams are as creative offensively as they used to be in the past, but they're very sound and they play very hard.
Yeah, I want to go back to the two-quarterback system that all of a sudden Boise State's gone to. And the start of the season, Talon Green was the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Year last year, and I know he threw for 300 yards against you guys. And he was the starter coming into the season. All of a sudden, a couple of weeks ago against Memphis, he got benched in the middle of the game, and a redshirt freshman came in, and Maddox Madsen, and let him do a couple touchdown drives. That was 2 weeks ago. Last week against San Jose State, they were interchanging the quarterbacks. And it's really interesting, Jay, and I want to ask you your perspective on this just in general. But it's not like they said, okay, one quarterback gets one series, and then the next series, the other quarterback. They're interchanging them sometimes between plays. Mm-hmm. First down, one quarterback. Second down, the other quarterback. Have you seen teams do that? And you've been around a while.
Yeah.
You probably have. Have you seen teams do that?
I have seen teams do it. We've never really preferred to do it.
Yeah.
But there are teams that do it, and if they have a couple of guys that have talent and they like certain things that one guy does and they like certain things another guy does, I mean, I think that's how you end up settling on doing that. But who knows? You just don't know, and so you have to be prepared for both. I think they're both quality players and are capable of leading their offense, so we have to be prepared for both.
Yeah, I imagine that's just another wrinkle that Freddie Banks and the defensive guys have to worry about. I mean, every single play, along with trying to read your keys and pre-snap assignments, you better know who's playing quarterback too.
Oh, absolutely, and they will. I think that'll be blatantly obvious when we see who's
they
out
look
there.
Very different. One's 6'6", one's 5'10". So.
Yeah, but they have different running skills.
Yeah.
Green's a big, strong guy who's a play-action boot guy, and so they'll be prepared for that.
Yep, indeed. And then comment, if you will, on the running back. I know George Halani, who's been an all-conference kid, has been beat up here this season, hasn't played a lot. But then Ashton Ginty, man, he was really good as a freshman last year, and now he leads the nation this year with 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a really good player, and so they want to run the football. That's their MO. They want to run the ball and control the ball with the running game, and so we're going to have to do a great job staying in our gaps and tackling. The big thing about tackling is that we can't give up yards after contact. That's one of the things we didn't do a great job of last week, and we have to improve that and do a better job this week.
Yep, and that'll be really key. Remember that, especially when Genty runs, because in the Boise State game notes, 44 broken tackles on the season. Apparently that leads the nation. I don't know who keeps that stat or if they just made it up, but 44 broken tackles for Genty, their running back. All right, before we let you go, I want to comment on the couple of student athletes. Again, we have Jacob Gardner and Andrew Cannon with us tonight, a couple of members and the starters on that offensive line, and a couple of guys that you coached at Nevada.
Yeah, these guys have been with us a long time, and you know, I just have so much respect for those guys that play offensive line, because you just do all the dirty work and you don't get a lot of credit or recognition for it. You know, we have had Jacob since he was a freshman, and brought him out of Southern California, and we had an injury from a senior starting tackle, and Jacob had to start as a true freshman at left tackle, and he started every game ever since, and just amazing career. Now he's playing center and calling all the shots and making all the calls and doing a fabulous job there. And then big Andrew Cannon, we pulled him out of TJC, Tyler Junior College, out of East Texas, and he's from Florida, and just a mountain of a man, and played about every position for us in the offensive line. Played tackle, played guard. He could play center as well, and both of those guys played for us at Nevada. We won a lot of football games with these guys.
And then, of course, their position coach, Bill Best, with us tonight. And I know you and Billy have been together a long time too.
Yeah, Coach Best, and we've been together from the Nevada days, and just we got such a great offensive staff room. I mean, you know, besides being at home, there's probably no place in the world I'd rather be than in that staff room and with those guys, and just great offensive minds, great guys, and it's a lot of fun going to work every day.
All right, Jay, appreciate it. We'll give you a break. Enjoy. Best of luck Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, that's head coach Jay Norvell. Again, the Rams and the Boise State Broncos coming up on Saturday night. We'll take a timeout. The student athletes will join us coming up next on the Colorado State Sports Network from Learfield. More segments left on the program. We welcome everybody back to the Coors Light Jay Norvell Coaches Show. We're live at CB and Potts Restaurant and Tap Room here in Fort Collins. Tonight's show presented by the Green and Gold Guard Collective. Hey fans, do you want exclusive access to players, exclusive access to content and limited edition merchandise? Well, you can join the Guard Unleashed fan club at theguardunleashed.com. Again, theguardunleashed.com. Green and Gold Guard, a proud partner of Colorado State Athletics. All right, Brian Roth back with you, and happy to be joined by a couple of the student athletes. How about a nice warm welcome for Jacob Gardner and Andrew Cannon, a couple of the offensive linemen for Colorado State. Appreciate you guys coming out here tonight, and a couple of guys that played some football with Coach Norvell at Nevada and now here at Colorado State. And Andrew, let's start with you. You're the newcomer. Give us an idea of what the experience has been like here in Fort Collins and playing for the Colorado State Rams.
Oh, it's been wonderful here. I mean, I just love the town, love the coaches here. They're the reason why I came. And I was just so surprised by all the welcome I felt it when I first got here. Yeah, it's just this facilities, the team, everyone just been so great since I got here.
All right, so you're originally from Orlando, Florida. Then, as Coach Norvell said, you went to Tyler Junior College, then out to Reno, Nevada. But you've been to a lot of places. How does one go from Orlando to now the western part of the United States?
Kind of been an adventure. I went to Tyler Junior College out of high school. Didn't have the best, I guess, high school time, grades-wise. Then went there, kind of got myself correct, and then got in contact with Coach Best, and they brought me over to Nevada. And then that year or so away from the coaches at Nevada, I was like, I have to go back to them.
Yeah, right. Again, he played at Nevada last year, Jay's first year here, and then transferred here this year. Not this guy, Jacob Gardner, and he's a California kid, so we know why he's in the western part of the United States. But 2 years there at Nevada, and now his second year here at Colorado State. And I know last year was a struggle at times for the offense. Tell us a little bit about the difference that you've seen from the offense from last year now here to this year in year two.
Yeah, I think a lot of it would be just in terms of like cohesion. That's a bit, I played a big part in it, and our QBs and our receivers are able to feel each other out, and in terms of O-line, we can we've been working with each other all summer. We gel really good together, and you can see a lot of that through this year, and I'm just super proud of my guys being able to go out there and play the way we have.
Now, we heard Coach Norvell mention that you played a couple years in Nevada as left tackle, brought you in here to Colorado State to play center. That lasted, I think, all of one game last year. Then you went right back out to left tackle with some of the injuries. But talk about the difference between playing on the edge and playing on the inside, kind of running the show from the center position.
Yeah, so I think when I think about left tackle, I think of it usually as a more physical. You have to be a little bit more athletic out there. You have to dance the dance. When you're in the center, you have to be a lot more stable. You have to be smarter. You have to know you have to see the whole box. Whereas left tackle, you could just watch the D end and look for a few things from the D tackles. But you got to have wider eyes. You got to see what's going on and be able to call the shots for your whole line and not just for yourself.
So what kind of communication is that? Are you communicating every single play as you guys run up to the line of scrimmage and ready to snap the ball? What are you looking for as a center?
I'm looking for the defensive fronts, the way the linebackers are set up. External pressure from like stingers or safeties and stuff like that. So, we're at tackle. You walk up, hear the center's call. Okay, I probably am blocking the D end.
Yeah, right.
It was pretty simple that way. But now at center, you have to call the calls in terms of how the whole O-line is going to see the box and not just looking at the D end.
Joined by Jacob Gardner, Colorado State center, Andrew Cannon, Colorado State guard, a couple of the starters along that offensive front. And Andrew, I know Coach said that you've played literally everywhere on the line. Now you're at guard here at Colorado State. Is that your preferred spot, or are you good just to play anywhere?
I'm good wherever they put me. Went to Nevada, recruited as a tackle, had only played center really my whole life. Then when I got here, I was told guard would be the spot. And I love playing guard. Love the physicality of it. A lot less thinking, a lot of playing.
Talking, I imagine kind of this offense struggled last year. I talked to Oliver Jervis and Savion Henderson back in the spring and into the fall and said, hey, look, we know and we came in to help fix that. And you guys have done a great job. They've only given up 7 sacks through 5 games. Did you come in here with the mindset of, hey, we're going to turn this offense around?
Yeah. That was the first thing. We got to control the trenches. If we want to dominate teams, we got to be the ones to control the team, bring the energy every game. So,
all right, let's talk about this season so far. And Jacob, I know it was a disappointing game on Saturday, but what is the mindset of this team? You still have 7 conference games to go and a massive game against Boise State coming up on Saturday.
Yes, sir. I think a big mindset we have to take into it is not letting our mistakes carry over into the next week. Instead of having a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. Comes into play a lot when you have games like we had against Utah State. We got to take our mistakes, got to learn from it, and then move on. This is a new game, it's a new week, and it's a new opponent.
Yeah, I know you guys have probably played with many different quarterbacks. Andrew, what is it like to have a freshman in the huddle as the quarterback, kind of leading the charge out there? How's Braden done?
He's done a great job. He really brings a lot of confidence. Kind of surprisingly for a freshman, you'd think them to be more timid. He's really confident in the huddle, a lot of energy. He's just always the next play.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about Braden as well, Jacob, because, that is something that the coaches have talked about. The dude does not lack for confidence.
No, he doesn't.
But he seems pretty comfortable out there, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think I told you he was a pretty gung-ho kind of quarterback, and it helps us most of the time, and there's occasional times it doesn't, and I think most of the time we just want to encourage him and bring him along and trust that he's going to do his job, and we just got to block for him.
All right. I know you're a junior. You still have another year coming up with Colorado State. You're a senior, though, Andrew.
Yes.
What are you studying at Colorado State, and what do you hope to do maybe outside of football as you move forward in life?
I'm studying biology right now.
Okay.
So I graduated from Nevada this past May. So I guess I don't really know what year I am school-wise. And then I'm hoping to get pretty good grades here and apply to med school.
Yeah, and apply to med school. That's terrific. Well, gentlemen, thanks so much. Terrific job along the offensive front. Best of luck coming up on Saturday night.
Sir, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, it's Jacob Gardner, Andrew Cannon, a couple of the big boys up front for Colorado State. We'll talk to their position coach, Billy Best, coming up next on the Colorado State Sports Network from Learfield. Jay Norvell Coaches Show. Again, a big thank you to Andrew Cannett and Jacob Gardner, a pair of those offensive linemen here at Colorado State. Tonight's program presented by Bank of Colorado. There's only one Colorado, there's only one CSU, and one bank who cheers us on as you do. It's Bank of Colorado. There's only one. All right, Brian Roth back with you, and nice round of applause here for Bill Best. He's the offensive line coach here at Colorado State. And I know he's been with Coach Norvell for quite some time. Bill, great to see you. How you doing?
Doing great.
So tell me a little bit about the two young men we had up here, and a couple of guys you know well. Obviously, you recruited both those guys to the University of Nevada, one out of high school in California, one from, as we mentioned, Tyler Junior College in Texas.
Well, I actually can't take credit for recruiting Jacob. He was there when I got there.
He was there when you got there.
If you want to give me credit, I'll take it.
I think we're going to give you credit.
Okay. But he was there, and young freshman when I got there. He was the first guy I went to see on the recruiting trip. I went to see him and meet all the guys that Nevada had signed when I got the job. And I just remember a very serious demeanor and a firm handshake. And I thought, this guy's going to be pretty good. And it turns out I was right. And he came into camp, and we threw him in the mix at center at Nevada, and we had some injuries. Actually brought in Andrew Kennan to play left tackle for that injury we had, and he got hurt. So Jacob with the left tackle.
Right.
So those two, we have a long history with both of them.
Yeah, you bet. I asked Jacob about making the move from left tackle to center. And, of course, he had to go back out to left tackle last year and now back to center. I don't think there's a lot of offensive line aficionados in this room here other than maybe you three. Tom Ellers. I'm sorry, Tom Ellers.
Coach Ellers knows, yeah.
I thought you were a defensive tackle, Tom. That's my fault. But what is how big of a difference is that playing on the outside to where you're going inside and making a lot of calls at center?
Well, I think he did a great job explaining it. I mean, it goes from really being an individual and playing within your box and dominating your guy to having to do everything. You're basically a coach on the field. And, Jacob does a great job. We have a really great defensive staff and young coaches on defense that are eager to talk, and nobody will talk to them. Nobody will listen to them. So they know the defense, and I encourage Jacob to go around the offices in the summer and question, hey, what does this coverage look like? And he's done a great job of soaking all that in. He's well prepared every week.
Yep, again, Jacob Gardner in his second year here at Colorado State. And I know you guys felt like you had to rebuild the offensive line. How would you grade out the offensive line so far? I mean, I don't know if you want to hear this number. I mean, you guys gave up 26 sacks through the first 5 games last year. This year, you've only given up 7. It's been a massive upgrade.
I really didn't want to hear that.
I'm sorry.
I've totally forgot about last year, to be honest with you. So, that's a marked improvement. And, I always say protection's an 11-man job. And,
right.
Those 7 sacks, I think we've been with one where a guy got beat clean. That was last week late in the game. But, it is an 11-man job, and Braden has done a great job. He's gotten us out of trouble, and we've done a really good job protecting him, but he's able to move in the pocket and get rid of the ball, and the receivers have done a good job getting open. So the offensive line has definitely improved, and there's a different mentality there this year, and it's very fun to watch it grow.
Yep, indeed. And you talk about Savion Henderson, who's manning the left tackle spot for you, and then Oliver Jervis. And I looked at those guys when they came in the offseason. Boy, they've played a lot of football, haven't they?
They have, and we have Savion's from Lane College, a Division II school, and I coach in Division II, and I feel like, I coach with a chip on my shoulder, and he certainly plays that way. And you have Oliver from Monmouth, FCS, a lower level. Those guys have chips on their shoulders, and Drew Moss from Lamar, same deal. And then these two guys have always played with chips on their shoulders. So we have guys that take it personal, and it's showing up.
Yeah, Drew Moss, of course, plays right tackle for Colorado State. We're continuing our conversation with Bill Best, offensive line coach here for Colorado State. All right, Bill, as you move forward into this season, I know Coach Norvell talks about, hey, we're going to get our run game going a little bit better and better, and we've seen steady improvement in the run game so far through the first 5 games here this season.
Yeah, everybody talks about the run game. To me, it's about winning football games, not stats. And whatever play coach calls, we want to block for and be successful. And when we get our chance, we do need to do better. We're growing. We're working on it really, really hard. But we work equally as hard on protections and screens and everything else. So I think those runs are, last year I said I forgot last year, but I do remember this. We were able to run the ball a little bit, during conference.
Yeah.
And, I
we
know
were.
that's going to pick up. That's going to pick up.
Yeah, I know Avery Mora was a big part of that. Boy, runs so hard. I imagine offensive linemen love blocking for that guy.
We like guys that run angry. And
He was an angry runner. There's no question. All right, give us a little bit of a scouting report. We got about 30 seconds, 45 seconds left here tonight. Scouting report on Boise State, because it's a defense that's given up some points, but it's Boise State. They have a culture of winning there.
Sure. Boise's got a national reputation. No matter where you're from, you've heard of Boise because of what they've done in the past. And, they home grow their defensive guys, the defensive linemen. They're big, strong, and they're going to play hard. There's no one that just blows you away on film, but collectively they play hard and play sound.
Yeah.
And we got our work cut out for us.
Well, I think the Scott Matlock kid is gone here this season. I know he's terrorized offenses, so it's good that he's not there. Best of luck coming up on Saturday night, Bill. We appreciate you coming out. Hey, real quick, introduce your family for us.
Oh, yes, my wife, Jennifer. And this are my three, I call them, I hope you don't think this wrong, my three freeloaders right here, these kids. This is, they're here getting a free meal. So
that's right.
This is James, he's 6. This is Brady, he's 12.
Okay.
He just made the basketball team.
Nice.
He's going to do a lot of rebounding and a lot of fouling. And my daughter, Hannah, she's also 12. They're twins. She's a swimmer and volleyball player. So
I love it. Well,
right.
Welcome to the show tonight. Billy, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, that's Bill Best joining us, the offensive line coach. That's going to do it for the program tonight. A big thank you to Jagger May back at Learfield Master Control. Hope McConkey back here running the show. Brian Ross saying so long. We'll talk to you Saturday night.